that. I'm having a little bit of difficulty today because that's just how I am with the technology. Um, so today I want to talk about, she's complaining. Maybe again, maybe about the same thing, but what if you could turn her complaints into your opportunities? So I'm Leslie Dories, creator of the Hero Husband Project and owner of Foundations Coaching. And one of the things that happens when somebody complains, especially if it's about you, is you get a little bit defensive. And if you turn into what my son would always do, which I call defense attorney mode, where he would always find out exactly where what I said wasn't true, he'd find the one time that that wasn't a true statement, and then therefore everything would go away. Uh, it gets really annoying, right? It's really hard to hear something from your wife, especially if you either don't understand it or you don't agree with it. And what happens is, like I said, you get defensive. She feels unheard. She feels like you don't care. And this is a rinse and repeat kind of thing. But what if you could do what I call a jujitsu move on her, where you don't take her complaints necessarily at face value, but you go a little bit deeper with them. So, by deeper with them, I mean, what's behind her complaints? What is it that she's really wanting? Where is there any truth in what she's saying? Yes, she's probably exaggerating. Maybe you don't always or never do this, but what if you do it sometimes, right? What if there is some accuracy to what she's saying? What if you took that and said, here's a place where I can step up and do better. And when I say do better, I don't mean do it her way or necessarily exactly what she wants, unless of course you can, right? But maybe just doing it a little bit better. And so I actually use this example back in the day when I would work with teenagers. I don't much anymore, but I would get teenagers who would come to me and be really ticked off that their parents wanted them to do something, right? In my case, I want to know when my kids were in school, I wanted to know where they were, and I wanted to know that they were safe. And so I would, in fact, to this day, when my son goes back to Florida, it's like, can you please just let me know that you got there safely? Now, my knowing or not knowing isn't going to change whether or not he's safe, but he's basically learned to text me or give me a call and say, hey, mom, I'm home safely. He might, and when he was in high school, he did this. When the first Harry Potter movie came out, he said to me, Mom, can I go see it? I'm going, it starts at midnight on Thursday. That's a school night. And he says, yeah, I know. And I said, okay. I said, I had a couple of things for him. I said, you don't get to miss school tomorrow. Oh, the first thing he said was he didn't have a test that next day. It's like, that's beside the point. You're going to school. So then he said, I said, so you have to go to school the next day. And I said, when you leave the movie theater, you need to call me. And when you get home, you need to wake me up. Now, I know I could see in the back of his head that he thought I was just being ridiculous. But guess what? He did it. And so the next time the movie came out, he goes, Mom, I said, sure, fine, go. Because he heard me. And this is what your wife wants. She wants you to hear her. What I would tell teenagers is whatever your parents request is, however ridiculous you think it is, figure out a solution to it, right? Don't just not do it, but figure out what will make them feel better. And this is the same thing that you want to do with your wife when she's complaining, when she makes a complaint about something that you're doing. Yes, I call this, advanced relationship skills, where you go a little bit deeper into not just what she's complaining about, but where there is a nugget of truth and then you figure out a way that works for you. Like I said, not necessarily her way of doing it, but the way that works for you, so that you can resolve that. Because what happens is it's a couple of things that happen with this. One, she feels heard. Two, the source of whatever she's complaining about goes away. Now, there's a lot of times where people go, well, her complaint isn't valid. Well, if she's complaining about it, it means she's not happy. And if there's something you can do about it, isn't that a win-win? And again, now sometimes there may be, and you may not understand, so you may need to get a little bit more information, but dismissing her is not going to help your marriage. And by the way, she also needs to be doing this about things that aren't working for you in the relationship. This is not a one-sided thing. But as I tell the men that I work with, when you do this, when you step up and go first off, it gives you the moral high ground, which I don't think you should always take with your wife, but at least it's like, honey, when you make a complaint, when you say something is bothering you, don't I try to fix it? And then when you can come back to her and say, so here's something that I would really like to be different. And when you have a track record of doing the things that of fixing the things that are really bothering her, then it's going to improve your relationship, and it gives you the ability to say, okay, here's something that I would like, and here's how I handle your requests or your complaints. This is, as I said, advanced relationship skills, but that's what you want to learn how to do if you want to have a good marriage. So if you want to learn more about this, then I invite you to get in touch with me and set up a discovery call so I can show you how to make this work in your marriage. And hopefully you found this interesting. And again, it's not a one-sided thing. She also needs to be doing this as well. But when you model the behavior, when you lead by example, that's when great progress can be made. So again, send me an email, put a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts about this, because I know it's a little, it goes a little bit against the grain. And like I said, or you can send me an email at leslie@foundationscoachingnc.com. That's FOUNDATIONS, coaching, N as in Nancy, C as in Charlie.com. And until next week, stay loving.